Boys and girls, this is the artist Chris Uphues. He is a painter, street artist, and designer living in Brooklyn, New York. He is considered a contemporary pop artist because he is still alive today, and he uses popular culture to inspire his paintings. He got his Bachelor of Fine Arts at the School of the Arts Institute in Chicago in 1994. Uphues understands that fantastic energy and formal variety present itself everywhere, including products of everyday popular culture. His paintings and drawings are detailed compositions of stars, flowers, shapes, and cartoon-like faces that are inspired by a range of popular references such as the art of Keith Haring. He especially loves to paint these fantastic hearts. Uphues was also inspired by the comics from the 1950s and 60s, Walt Disney, calligraphy, and animation. Looking closely at his work, it is full of wonderful and fantastic surprises. In addition to his thriving street art practice that includes putting hearts and cute doodle faces on everything from silos to city walls, Uphues also makes little printed goods painted with acrylic. You can buy stickers and sweatshirts from his shop. His work has also been included in many solo and group exhibitions in places like Chicago, Brooklyn, New York, Los Angeles. This young, exciting artist is who we will be creating art like today. Let's get started. To start our lesson, inspired by Chris Uphues, you can use a pencil or Sharpie, depending on how confident you are feeling. You're going to need markers and a piece of paper. I'm going to start with Sharpie just to make it easy for you to see, but if you feel like you need to start with pencil, that's a-okay. You would just go back and trace with a Sharpie later. What I can do is I'm going to fill this page with 5 to 7 hearts of different sizes. You can do large hearts that take up a lot of space. You can do medium-sized hearts. You can do small hearts. Just make sure that they are not itty-bitty, teeny-tiny. Also, I am making sure that my hearts are not touching one another. We want these to be separate so that way each one can become its own new exciting character. I'm also not sticking many of them off the side of my page much. We want a whole heart to be part of our piece of art. So now that I have my page filled with a variety of size hearts, I'm ready for the fun part, turning them into cartoons. Over here to my left, I have the worksheet from the webpage pulled up so I can see and get ideas. You can use ideas on that page or you can come up with your own. It's your job to make a cartoon face on each one of these hearts. You can mix and match eyes and mouths. You can really be your own artist on this one. Have fun and be creative. I'll do one and then speed up the video. I'm going to make my features, or my eyes and mouths, so that they match the size of my heart. So if my heart is medium, those are going to be medium as well. And let's see, I think I'll do a big silly mouth with buck teeth, just like that. So I'll speed up the video and get a face on every one of these hearts. In a lot of Chris Uphues murals, he connects his shapes with simple lines, or straight lines, but he makes them look rainbowy. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that straight line and connect your hearts together. Instead of just doing one, I can do 3 or 4 though. 2, 3, 4, just like that. And I'm going to connect all of my hearts. They can connect off my page. Since this one really doesn't have anywhere to go, I go right off the edge of my paper, just like that. I can do more than I did on previous ones. They don't have to connect to each other. If I want these ones to be separate, that's okay. Let's make a diagonal line that goes off the edge here, just like that. There. get to be free and express yourself with fun lines here. And maybe this one sticks off the page too. You want it to be balanced, which means it doesn't feel like one side of your page is too heavy with details while the other side is missing them. Pretty happy. I think I'll put one more here, just like that. Now I'm ready to add some color. You can use markers to color everything in, or you can try this neat new trick. For this, if you're going to do the trick, you're going to need a marker, a cup of water, and a paintbrush. Let me go grab one of those really quick, and I'll be right back. Now I have my cup of water and paintbrush. If there's anywhere that I want to color so it's solid, I'm going to do that before I try this out, because I don't want to get those wet at all. So I can get that colored all the way, and then I'll show you this cool trick. Now that I have all these spaces colored, whoops, missed one, I'm ready to do this cool trick with markers. So Chris Uphues uses lots of fun colors for his hearts. What you're going to do is you would trace around the edge of a heart you pick, and I'm doing a nice thick line. It's not thin, it's nice and big. And I'm going to also trace around the eyes and the mouth. Once I'm done with that is when I can take, because I'm using washable markers, a paintbrush and water to give it the illusion that I painted it. Markers, watercolor markers, or these kind of markers, Crayola markers, washable markers, were designed to come off of things. So I can use water and a paintbrush, I can trace that, and then spread the color just like that. So it gives the illusion that the edge is nice and dark and the middle part is light, almost like one of those conversation candy hearts. I'm going to get all of my hearts traced and painted so you can see what they look like, and then we'll get a background on here. So enjoy while I finish painting with markers my hearts. Now that I've tried out the markers to paint, I can either do the same thing in these background spaces, or I'm going to show you a neat trick with actual watercolors. So I can actually mix colors without flipping back and forth between them on the paint palette. The first thing I would do is I would get the colors wet. I'm putting a couple of drops on there, so that way when I go to use them, I don't even have to dip water there. So this trick is neat because it's pretty magical. The colors swirl together and then in the end mix together in a fun way. When you're mixing colors, boys and girls, you're going to want to make sure that you're not mixing more than 2 colors at a time. Otherwise it's going to kind of turn into that doo-doo brown, and no one likes that on art. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick 2 colors that are next to each other on the palette, and those are going to be great to mix together. I think I'll start with yellow and green here, but first I have to paint water on my page. I'm going to be careful not to touch the places where I have marker because I don't want those to mix together, and I'm going to be careful where I just painted water. As you can see there, a little bit of blue came out. That's okay. So I can swirl my color here, and then I'm just going to dot it on my page, and because there's water already there, it's going to spread out. If we were in the art room, we'd use watercolor paper so it really spreads, but it works just great with regular printer paper too. Now that I've used my yellow, I'll clean my brush and go on over to that green. I just dot it there, and those 2 colors are going to start to blend together to make a new one. I don't want to swirl them all together because I do want to see the yellow and the green to know that I mixed those. But I would just go about putting dots of color on my page, making sure to clean my brush if I switch colors, and watching them expand into one another. So I'm going to get my background finished so you can see a finished work of art. art inspired by Chris Uphues. Now, boys and girls, if you don't have watercolor paints like this, you can color with crayons or markers or even colored pencils in the background. You could put a fun pattern or design. Or, don't forget, I have that art hack where you can use washable markers, aluminum foil, and paint. It will turn out like this, the colors just won't be as vibrant or bright. I hope you have fun creating this piece of art, and I can't wait to see your beautiful masterpieces. Don't forget to send me an email or upload them into Seesaw so your teachers can share them with me. Have fun and keep being creative.